Everybody to our short 30-minute webinar, How to Become a B Corp and Why. My name is Heather Paulsen, and to give just a little bit of context, for about the past 3 years, I have built a consulting practice based primarily on helping mission-driven companies become certified B Corps. I've worked with a range of companies in a bunch of different industries, from small sole proprietor startups to large companies with over $200 million in revenues. And I love to use the B Corp standards as a pathway for these mission-driven companies to meet their social and environmental goals in measurable and lasting ways. And I'm absolutely passionate about building the B Corp movement, both because I've seen it transform individual companies and because I believe it's a powerful way to build a more inclusive economy that works for everyone. I think that is really important to have in hand. So companies that want to become certified B Corps ask me 3 fundamental questions, which I will answer for you here today as I show you how to become a certified B Corp. And I am here with my colleague today, Margaret Ryan from WonderWorks, and she will help us illustrate some of the benefits of B Corp certification, but especially those within your company culture. So Margaret.
Hi, everyone. You're right. My name is Margaret Ryan, co-founder of WonderWorks Partners. And I love it, Heather, when you shared straight off the bat, it rolled into who you were and why you are a B Corp and why you're passionate that they align with what you do and who you are. And I think that to me is fundamentally why I love being in this inclusive but very diverse group of people and organizations within the B Corp, because it's you know, you hear that time and time again when you meet B Corp members or people who are interested in B Corp. There's an immediate alignment to why they are interested in looking at businesses for good. So, you know, for me, I totally get inspired and passionate about supporting people into living fully what they love to express, their purpose and passion. So again, we just keep layering and layering this alignment. So welcome everybody, and I invite you to really appreciate yourself today for taking the time to being on a call that is not always so, you know, yay, woohoo, what's going on? But inside you, it actually is, because it aligns to who you are when you're on a call like this. So sincerely, thank you for being part of this call with us today. Thanks. Heather, back to you, my friend.
All right, thank you, Margaret. And I'm just going to start us off here with some housekeeping items for us. When you log in, usually you'll be automatically muted. And if you could find the chat window, please put your name and your location and maybe why you are interested in either becoming a B Corp, or if you're already a B Corp, why you are passionate about that. And also you can use that chat window to post your questions. And Tanya from WonderWorks also will be monitoring our chat window for questions. And you can also use the raise hands function when you have a question. So we'll try to keep track of everybody that way and be an interactive experience. So launching right into things, what is a B Corp? Well, as you can see here, a certified B Corp is a for-profit company that is certified by the nonprofit B Lab to meet rigorous standards of social and environmental performance, accountability, and transparency. We use the power of business to solve social and environmental problems. And it is proving to be a better way to do business for many reasons, including financial performance that is better than conventional peers. The B stands for benefit. And the way I like to explain it sometimes to folks is that, you know, if you had bought an organic apple and you held that apple in your hand, if you were to eat that apple, you know it would be good for you. And it also doesn't tell you anything about the company that brought that apple to market. if you were to buy that same organic apple from a certified B Corp, you would know that more than likely that company pays its workers a living wage, that they consider the environmental impacts of their transportation systems and shipping and packaging and all of those different considerations. So by becoming a certified B Corp, your consumers will know that not only are they buying the good product or a service that you provide, but they're buying it from also a good company. And research is really showing that the millennial generation in particular, about 88% not only want to buy good products, but they want to buy from good companies. And this B Corp certification is a very powerful way to demonstrate with third-party verification that you are through and through a good company. So who are the B Corps and what is the size of the B Corp movement so far? Well, there are over 2,100 certified B Corps in over 50 countries around the world, representing over 130 different industries. And we all have one unifying goal, and that is to use business as a force for good. So I think a bunch of folks on the call are in the North Bay area, so you might recognize some of the brands here as local: Clover, Fetzer, North Coast Brewing Company. But then at the national scale, we also have larger companies that are well known, like Ben & Jerry's and Patagonia and Dansko and a bunch of others. And it truly is a very international movement. The benefits of B Corp certification are many. I think first and foremost, a lot of companies that want to become certified B Corps already feel that they operate as if they were a B Corp. So they have strong social give back goals and strong environmental practices, and that this third-party verification is a way to validate those best practices and to ensure that it's a well-rounded group of best practices that you're implementing at your company. So validation is one of the top reasons to certify. And building a legacy is also very important. With B Corp certification, you will also be required, if it is implemented in your state, if there's legislation supporting amending your articles of incorporation, for example, to become a benefit corporation, that is a way to build your values and your mission into the legal structure of your company. So should you ever want to retire or sell the company, that company's mission and purpose will stay intact as ownership changes. I've alluded to improved performance through behaving like a B Corp and applying B Corp values to every facet of your business. So financial, social, and environmental performance tends to improve over time the farther along a company gets in their B Corp journey. Enhancing your company culture is another big benefit. There are a lot of resources available from B Lab, the certifying agency, to engage your employees and measure employee satisfaction and really build a dynamic workplace where people feel alive and like they are living their purpose. B Corp certification also helps you differentiate from pretenders. And so what I mean by that is a lot of companies out there are really good at marketing and saying that they are giving back to the community or saying that they're environmentally conscious. But without actually proving it, it's hard to tell if they're just good at marketing or if they do walk the talk. And so this certification is third-party verification that you actually do walk the talk. There are great opportunities to generate press with B Corp certification. And again, there are a lot of resources that B Lab provides as far as templates and ideas and boilerplates for press releases, for blogging throughout the year, and connecting with other B Corps. And one of the biggest and best benefits personally for me with B Corp certification is finding peers. So B Lab has a social media site for B Corps and their employees called the Beehive. And you can log into the Beehive, for example, if you're looking to create a policy around, let's say we want to create an employee volunteer program. You can log into the Beehive and find HR professionals within the B Corp community or others who would have input for you on how to create an employee volunteer program so that you're not reinventing the wheel. You're not alone. You have a tribe out there. And that is one of the most wonderful benefits of certification, in my view. So I wanted to do our first poll question. Which of the following kinds of businesses can become certified B Corps? Sole proprietorship, LLP, LLC, cooperative, S Corp, C Corp, or all of the above? So go ahead and put your answers in there. We'll give you half a minute to do that. And Tanya, do we have answers? All right.
That's fast.
That was quick. And it's a nice wide representation of the answers that we see. It looks like most people think that it's all of the above, and you are correct.
Wow. Heather,
yes.
Quick question. So I was one of the all of the above who got it right. Do we get anything for being right?
You get pride and the comfort of knowing that you are on the cutting edge of this field of knowledge.
Okay, fellow 85% of us, thank you. We feel vindicated, thank you.
Excellent. So this is actually one of the most common questions that I get and one of the most common misconceptions out there, that you must be a corporation to become a certified B Corp, and that is false. Any for-profit business entity type can become a certified B Corp. And so just how do you do that? Here's where we're launching into the how-to. How to become a certified B Corp. Your first step would be to create a B Impact Assessment account on B Lab's website, which is listed here, bcorporation.net. And in the top menu bar, there is the assessment login, which is circled here. And you click there, and then you'll be prompted to create an account, your B Impact Assessment account. And it's a free and confidential tool. And yes, Margaret, I see your hand.
Yeah, sorry, my friend, not looking to interrupt, but there's a great question, and I just want to make sure you covered it. Is the Beehive only available after certification?
Oh, thank you for that question. Yes, that is correct. The Beehive is available only to certified B Corps and their employees. That's a great question. So when you create your B Impact Assessment account, you'll be prompted to set up your company profile. So it will ask you your name, the name of your company, the size of your company, and the industry that you're in, so that the questionnaire will then customize to fit your business. And there are more than 72 different versions of the assessment available depending on your industry and your company size. So it really does customize to fit you. And in the assessment, you will be asked to measure what matters through a series of multiple choice questions. There are roughly, I would guess, maybe 175-ish questions, depending on your particular assessment. And I've heard it referred to as the multiple choice test from hell, but in a good way. It is very thorough, and it looks at every aspect of your business, including your governance. So the governance metrics have to do with your mission, transparency, and accountability, and various things related to that. It looks at your employees. What are your wages and benefits? How engaged are your employees? What kind of professional development do you offer to your employees for their growth and development? It looks at your social impact or community engagement. To what degree are you engaged in charitable giving or local purchasing, or looking at your supply chain in various ways that benefit the local economy? Under environmental impact, it looks at the things that you would probably expect to see there. Are you using renewable energy? Have you done any life cycle assessments of your products? Are you using a significant portion of organic or non-GMO ingredients if you're a food manufacturer, for example? And if you have 0 employees, like sole proprietorships have no employees, there is a section that looks at your customers or your clients, and it looks at your selection criteria and what impact you're able to generate through the work of your clients. And then finally, there are questions around what they call your impact business model. So if you are designed, your business is designed to benefit a certain population or to grow your local economy or around environmental protection in specific ways, then there are additional points for that. And one thing that I love about the B Impact Assessment is that it really gives credit for all the various things that you do, including industry advocacy or similar things, industry leadership. So you get a lot of credit for having built the awesome company that you've built. So the process of certification is you complete the online B Impact Assessment, and you must score at least 80 points out of 200. And that sounds like a pretty low bar. 80 out of 200 on any other test might not be such a great grade, but B Lab considers this to be a positive assessment. So it's measuring things that are above and beyond what a normal, regulatorily compliant company would be doing anyway. So the 80 points is a pretty rigorous standard to meet, which I think is great. It makes sure that those that become certified B Corps are really walking the talk in significant ways. After you complete the assessment, there is a review call and document review process with B Lab, where they will verify up to maybe a dozen randomly selected questions that you've answered in the assessment through requiring a document upload. So there are thorough ways that they have to make sure that you're answering accurately. There's a term sheet to sign, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. And there is an annual fee that is payable to B Lab once you are a certified B Corp. And the fee is a sliding scale based on your company's revenues. And then recertification is required every 2 years. And recertification is certainly easier than the initial certification because it is mostly an update of the data that you have worked to populate the first time around during your certification. So part of that term sheet that I just talked about, when you become a certified B Corp, they ask you to sign the Declaration of Interdependence. And basically this is saying that we are creating a new sector of the economy, and we must be the change that we seek in the world. That we are operating our businesses based on the values that people and place matter, and that not only do we aspire to do less harm through our business practices, but we're actually looking to make a positive benefit to the world. So the Declaration of Interdependence is a very clear statement of how the B Corp community is bonded and has values in common. All right, so now I'm going to do a second poll question. Tanya, if you would. Oh, that's the first one.
Well, at least we know that we call this live.
So this is just a simple true-false. Certified B Corps and benefit corporations are the same thing. True or false? Give everybody a moment to ponder that. And as soon as there are results, excellent. So it looks like most people are aware that B Corps and benefit corporations are different things. Excuse me. And this is another common misconception that I hear a lot of questions about. Certified B Corps, as we have discussed, do the B impact assessment. They score at least 80 points. They sign the B Lab term sheet and pay an annual certification fee and biannually recertify as B Corps. And that is done by the nonprofit organization called B Lab. Within 2 years of becoming a certified B Corp, if you are in a state such as California and 32 other states where there is legal benefit corporation legislation, you will need to amend your articles of incorporation to state that you are a benefit corporation and that you take into account your impacts on all of your stakeholders in your decision making, not just your shareholders. So basically, this is your legal documents. If you're an LLC or another entity type, it might be your bylaws or your operating agreement, but you can amend those documents to become a benefit LLC or a benefit sole proprietorship, I suppose, if it's available in your state. And this builds your mission and your values into your legal documents. So it's a very powerful thing. And in most states, it requires an annual report, like an annual impact report, and also third-party verification that you are living up to the benefit that you have promised through your articles of incorporation. So B Corp certification can count as your third-party verification. Are there legal benefits for B Corps in Canada? That is a good question. And to my knowledge, there is not benefit corporation legislation passed in California, although B Lab does have a regional office in Canada and it's a growing movement in Canada as well. So we'd have to check in with your local province to see if that legislation exists there for Canadian B Corps. That's a great question, and I will look into that also. All right. So a few tips for your certification from my perspective as a B Corp consultant who has helped several companies through this process. My recommendation is to use the B impact assessment as your roadmap to build a better business. You will find tons of inspiration throughout the standards, and it will help you build a stronger business. As you do the B impact assessment, keep moving through the assessment. It can be easy to get bogged down when you don't know a particular answer, but they have a function where you can mark a question to revisit this to come back to later. And I do recommend using that copiously as you need to. Also, don't get hung up on your score throughout your process of filling out the B impact assessment, because a lot of the points come towards the end when you get into the impact business model section. So I know a lot of people, when companies first go through the assessment, a lot of times they end up with about 50 to 60 points. Don't be discouraged by that. There are ways to formalize some of the things that you've been doing in practice, but maybe just haven't put into policy. So keep moving through it. I recommend
You need to speed up a little bit. You're running out of time.
Okay. I recommend dedicating a resource to this project, and a typical timeline, I would say that 6 months is realistic. And then if you do get stuck along the way, you are more than welcome to contact me to learn how to both maximize your score and to facilitate the process. We've talked about benefits of B Corp certification here, but this was my jump off point for Margaret to talk about company culture.
Yeah, and I think, Heather, if you could respond to that last question about if someone misses that 80 points, do they have to wait and how long? If you could just wrap that up, I think that would help.
Yes.
The audience would probably like to know that.
Yes, thank you for calling that to my attention. No, you are able to start your B impact assessment, leave off, come back as many times as you want. Once you start the assessment, there's no obligation to certify. So you get to keep chipping away at it basically over time, where you don't have to wait to keep working on it basically. And they update their assessments every couple of years with some new questions, but it's mostly just a tweak on the prior version. And at recertification, is there a requirement to improve your score or just 80 is the minimum? You're correct that 80 is the minimum. We love to see improved scores over time, but it's not required.
Okay, great, thanks. Guys, we only have a little time here. One quick question. The BIA assessment, just to be clear, you don't have to go and be a member to use that assessment. So I want to kind of reinforce that. That's so important. Second thing is, what are the biggest challenges that you think you're facing about going through the assessment? I think even asking yourself that question after today would allow you to know where to get support or what to do internally you need to do to get going. Because half the time it's, okay, we've discussed this so many times, now how do we take action? The piece I wanted to share with you, and I'm happy to do this very briefly and deeper if you want to go and contact me, would be around why do we shine a light on B Corp, or why would we like to do more of that? Well, we're responding. B Corp is helping us to respond to an external challenge that allows us to keep walking the talk around these metrics. So internally you're doing it, we all are, we're running conscious businesses, but how can we expand that? How can we wake up more and more of ourselves and employees? So it's a way to attract and retain top talent that really align to our organizations. I think this piece around why do employees want to feel proud of where they work? I think try that on for yourself and really ask yourself, why do you want to be proud of where you work? Why do you want to show up every day, whether you're the owner or whether you're the last person in the company? Well, that question comes very much into your soul. But when you put that all together, you look at Patagonia, it's amazing. In 2008, they literally doubled in size, tripled in profits, and they were earning something like 600 million in 2013. Quote, they could not have done that individually, and they could not have done that if everybody did not want to be part of that vision that brought that company to where they are today. So they've got 41 years of proving mainstream that we're arguing you cannot put people in front of profits. And they said, yes, you can. So that was that piece. So I'd like my invitation to you is ask, you know, when you're walking around your organization, check in for your own. Are you proud of where you work? And are the people around you, do they act and speak that they're proud of that too? Guys, I'm at 12:30 and I want to complete with my agreement to all of you. That means my piece, that's fine, that's okay. But I do want to kind of complete there. So if you'd like to kind of get a little bit more information about point 2 and 3, just email me. It's margaret@wonderworks.com, and I believe that shows up on the next slide. I want to thank you all, and I'm complete. Back to you, Heather.
Well, thank you as well. And yeah, I was going on 30 minutes based on when we started, not on the actual clock. So my apologies for going a little long on my part. I will be happy to stay on and answer a few more questions. I see one more in the chat box. How long does it take to go through the reassessment process? And that depends. It is usually quicker than the first time around because you've developed some data tracking systems that will help with the second go round. But it's the same assessment to fill out. So it generally goes much more quickly. It's kind of a vague answer that it depends, but faster. And I want to thank everybody for being here today and for being interested in considering becoming a B Corp. And I wish you the best of luck on your journey and hope to see you at the B Corp Champions Retreat in October.
Grow the movement. Bye, everyone. Thank you.